back to Michael's Bricks. Now, I haven't been doing it, but I have started a series, the Michael's Help series, and that was a little while back. And I did my first video, how to start a Lego collection. And that video did pretty well, and everybody liked it, and it was very helpful information. And I feel like I enjoy doing those, and I want to do more of them. I'm thinking once a month I'll do one. I planned this one out and everything like that. Now, what's the next step after you start accumulating a Lego collection and you start to get a Lego collection? And most people, when they go from starting in Lego, they normally start to gravitate towards things like building a Lego city or collecting minifigures. I have a fair amount of minifigures down here that I've collected, like the Looney Tunes. So it just depends on your preferences and what you want to start collecting. And now this video is going to be about how to start a Lego city, because I've seen a few videos on it, but I don't think they're up to date on what we're doing nowadays and how things work nowadays. And first of all, the thing you want to start with is base plates. Now, I talked about in the last video, I'm going to link it, whether or not to buy fake base plates. That's purely on you. You want to buy fake base plates? Great. You don't want to buy fake base plates? Great. I purchased fake base plates, and here's why. Number one, they're cheaper. Number two, I can get tons of them at once. Like this one. This one is a Lego official base plate. These are like $5 a piece. It's a 16 by 16 plate. This fake 32 by 32 base plate was $1. Well, now it's $1.25, but it just depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. Because you can go Lego, you can not. That's purely your decision. And then the next thing that people start thinking about, I've used up all my road packs, sadly, but next thing people start thinking about is roads. You need roads. Well, just depends on your city and your space. I have a fair amount of space here, and I'm going to be getting more. Now, that could be a massive amount of road plates for you, and you want to make a huge Lego city. Or you just want to do it on a shelf. Now, Shy Time is my time. Perfect example for that. Then there's Kiwi Modulars, another perfect example for that. I have a bookshelf over here, but it's filled with books. And I don't collect modulars or things like that. I collect and build custom MOCs. That's my type of thing to do. So you also got to choose custom MOCs or sets. All this ties in together. But no, I don't think you really need roads or trains for that matter. It just is personal preference and size. I started with a table about this big for my first Lego city. And my desk right here in front of me was my Lego city at that time. It was a small farm. I started stop motions on it, and that's when my channel started to grow. And I got really into it and just never stopped. Now, then I upgraded to this behemoth of a table, which is pretty huge, not compared to like massive cities that you see, but for a normal person, this is a pretty huge table. So I got into that, combined everything into that, got rid of that old table. Don't even know what happened to it anymore. And then I was like, well, I enjoy the farm and I want to bring it back. I had space over there because I had all my buildings and all my stuff. And then I went, oh, farm table. And then like, well, time to expand again. So then over here, there's a whole nother table over here with the modulars, buildings, things like that. And then there's a whole nother part to Lego City. That's when I started to really expand everything and start to get big. And you gotta kind of choose on your space. Let's say you're moving into a small apartment and you only got this one room or one spot in your house, then you just throw up a shelf, put your modulars on it, put some roads on it, put some cars on it, and it may just sit there and look cool until you're able to expand your space. Or maybe that's just all you want, because your wife may get mad at you if you get any bigger, because that often happens. I know that's hilarious, but it does. Now, track and trains. I have 3 trains in this city. No, they do not run back and forth through loops and tracks. They're just there for decoration. I've seen people run them and all that stuff, but that's personally not something I do because of the space limitations and table heights wanting to be at different things to cause elevation in the city so it's less boring. Now, I can ramble on about the table elevation for a long time, but you can choose whether you want it. And I've seen table cities that have it under there. I've also seen shelf cities where it's a shelf mounted to the wall, and then there's a train mounted under it that goes back and forth. I can't remember the guy off of the top of my head, but he made a 2 shelves, one for his modulars, and then he cut holes for the subway, and then put a subway under there with lights and all kinds of stuff. So it just depends on how you want to do things and whether you want more room for modulars or whether you want room for a subway or not. And you got to pick and choose what is your favorite modular. Do I like this modular? Yes. Do I need this modular? Does this modular gonna go with my setup? You got to choose things that are going to go with your setup. I'm not going to go buy, let's say, Avengers Tower, because Avengers Tower doesn't fit my city, because you kind of have a theme with it, and that theme is the theme you really enjoy, and that's what I suggest you stick with, because if you don't, then you're going to end up tearing it apart and you're not going to have a city anymore. So those are the basic things to get started with your Lego city. I mean, I'm trying to cover in depth, but let's say here is my first modular, Parisian restaurant. It fits my city pretty well with the aesthetic I'm going for. But so does hold on, it popped apart. There we go. So does this custom countryside church. It fits my city aesthetic as well because it's a more of countryside city. Now that's a custom MOC that fits my city. And the Parisian restaurant is a set. So you can alternate between sets and MOCs, or you could go full MOCs and have absolutely no sets. You just gotta figure out what your happy place is with that, because some people are like, oh, I don't want any non-official sets. I don't want any of that. I want strictly Lego sets and no MOCs, nothing. I'm like, that's great. You can wait for sets to come out. Your collection and your uniqueness is not as great as people that build MOCs, because we have all these weird talents that we figure out in ways to use pieces. Now, that's my personal opinion on those things, so take it or leave it. Like, I took sets that weren't what they are now. Like, there's a lifeguard post over here that was a lifeguard post, of course, and I turned it into a fire station because, well, I don't need a massive fire station for my city because it's not big enough at this moment. So you kind of gotta, if you want to mess around with it, you can mix in reality and things like that. So like, we only need 1 or 2 fire trucks and some ambulances and stuff. Whereas a big city may need tons of ambulances and tons of fire trucks and hospitals and all these things. So that's my personal thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all things Lego and get more tips and tricks on how to do things. Next, I think we're going to be talking about building custom buildings. Let me know what you guys want me to talk about next, though, in the comments. Michael's Bricks out.